So the Ags are hosting Bama at Kyle Field. We're supposed to be down and out. Do we have any chance? The line opened at 17 and a half, so already people are thinking that this is a no contest. But is that the real story? I think if we take a look at the film, we can kind of see exactly where it's possible. I've maintained that Alabama is beatable. Is it hard to beat them? Yeah, sure is. But they're beatable. We just got to know how to do it. And I'm not saying I've got all the answers for you today, but I can help show some ways that I think we can attack them and we can have some success. And if things go right, it's possible we could beat them. I think we have the team that's able to beat them. The question is whether or not we're going to put it together, whether or not we're going to play like a team, whether or not we're going to play physical, and really how we're going to execute. I don't think I see Bama doing anything incredibly special. Got a lot of talent on the team, and that's special enough, don't get me wrong. But I'm not seeing them do much in the way of scheming you. I'm sure there's some matchups that are going on, and I don't want to downplay that sort of thing. Saban's a next level coach. He's maybe the top tier coach ever. Certainly in our generation he is. But really I think it boils down to they take advantage of what you allow them. And that's a talent in and of itself. So when they attack you on offense, if you're going to give them five feet, they're going to take it. You're going to give them 5 inches, they're going to take it. And they tend to execute. And that's kind of their strength. That's their MO, in my opinion, from watching what I've seen. They just execute. They play straightforward, hard-nosed football, and they let you make the mistake. It's just like almost any other champion, in my opinion. Take Serena Williams, for instance, or Roger Federer. A lot of times whenever I'm watching them play, I just see the opponent making a lot of mistakes, unforced errors. And we're going to watch this we're going to watch this Ole Miss game, and it looks like Ole Miss just allows stuff. Not necessarily makes mistakes, but they just allow stuff, and Alabama takes advantage of what they're given. So I think that's actually the first key to playing Alabama in a competitive way. Don't allow stuff. Know your assignment. What are you going to give? How many inches here? How many inches there? Because if you're going to give 6 over here and 2 over there, they're going to take the 6 over here. They're not stupid. They're very smart and they're very well coached. So they go where the leverage is. So keep that in mind as you watch this. We're going to slow it down, of course. We're going to take a look at their defensive side, offensive side. We're going to kind of compare. This also give us a good idea about what Ole Miss is going to be doing, perhaps when we get there. First off, Ole Miss is running a 3-man front. I surely hope that we're done with that after this last week, but we'll see. Alabama's very physical, and if you're going to play them in a effective way, I just think you're going to have pressure on the line of scrimmage all day long. Not 2 yards from the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage. Okay, so that's going to be the second key for me. We'll get to some others as we go along this film, so let's kind of go ahead and dive on into it and see what's going on. First off, approach this film with much respect for this team. Yeah, they were challenged by Florida by 2 points, but they grow. They have grown. They took care of Ole Miss pretty handily, and I think Ole Miss is a really good team. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's identify and take a look and see what we're up against this Saturday. So look, right off the bat, Ole Miss finds a hole in their defense in the sense of they're playing zone. He kind of sits down in that gap, and they deliver a strike. He takes it for a few extra yards, gets the first down. That's going to be a key for us if we're going to be effective against this team. Here we have a running play. It's a bit of an RPO. Defensive end crashes. He hands it off. He hits the hole there. Has a nice physical run. Gets the first down. Similar play. He's going to give it again. This time the running back comes up, provides pressure, He misses the tackle, but it's enough for 20 to get in there and make the play. So in this one, I think the middle linebacker, 16, probably misses his assignment here. He probably has the running back. He shades over to the right side where there's already 3 defenders over there anyways. So it's kind of a 4-on-3 game over there after he goes. And then they throw back to the other side, so it's a 4-on-3 or a 3-on-2 on the opposite side, which lends the advantage to Ole Miss on that side, and they take advantage of it. We're going to need to do the same thing. You have a jet sweep kind of type of play going on here, which we don't run that often, but it may be something we want to institute. Great job by the cornerback there on getting the outside leverage. But 20 just can't quite make the angle, and then he misses on the arm tackle. Ole Miss does a good job of running and being physical. That looks like a great play for a chain to run, but we'll see. Here what we have is 2nd and 19, so they're running a 3-man front, and really have great coverage by the D. It's just an amazing catch by the offense. So I'm not sure we've got that available at the moment, but we'll see who's back. Maybe Demas is up for something like that and can give us a little bit. Good physical run by the offense there. He finds the hole. I mean, he only needed 3, so he got the first down. You see right here Alabama stunting, and they're running this flare out here. You see how physical that cornerback is. Now, look, he misses the play, but I'm so impressed by how he just took that wide receiver and manhandled him. Good play after the catch there to get the first down. Maybe he's a little bit shy, but I think this is the point, is to respect Alabama's game and how physical they play. And you'll see this throughout, especially on the defensive line. See them crashing hard here. They needed 1. It's a great play by that defensive lineman to shed those blocks and really work downstream on the defensive line to get over there and provide solid contact. And here we see them on offense, and before Ole Miss could even make contact, he's already gone about 2 yards. So then he drags them another 3. They're just going to be one of the most physical teams we play this year. Okay, Ole Miss on this next play is going to do something we've seen from our linebackers before, which is their right running back's going to cross over. And so their weak side linebacker is probably got number 4. But he goes the opposite direction. He's still kind of playing him, but the other guy crossed over and came over into his zone, his area, and didn't switch the responsibility. Ole Miss pays for this one pretty dearly because now he's kind of got a blocker. 21's coming up trying to make a tackle, but whenever that guy can sidestep you, he's gonna punish you for that. Alabama just does a lot of the very simple things whenever it's given. They just execute. They don't have a lot of stuff that they're doing that's extremely difficult, but this guy's wide open. I mean, what do you want him to do? You want Bryce Young to not throw a good pass? I mean, that's what it's going to take for this to not be a big gain. I mean, one does a great job running a route. Watch what he does right here. And he's going full bore. 24 is going to rotate to the right, but he's going to have to bring his head back around, which is a huge mistake. Not easy. I mean, there's something to what Alabama is doing to get that sort of advantage, but when he comes back, he's wide open. Great blocking by their offensive line. It's huge and physical. Even if they were going to make that tackle, it was going to be a 2-yard gain. They can't even get to him until he's 5 yards down the field, so it is what you see happening on a regular basis, which is just huge gains on the running game. So they punish you on the running game, and then they'll take what they get in the passing game, just like you saw here. After they gash you for 9, 10, 12 yards, whatever it may be, you come back with something and hit you with the passing game, left yourself scratching your head, wondering what's going to happen next. Ole Miss here again is they're rushing 3, they're holding 2 linebackers. Pretty good assignments there, but again, you see this guy, he's kind of covering grass. And when you're going to do that, you're going to miss that tackle when you run up a lot of times because you have so much momentum. We covered this in the preview or the game grade against Mississippi State we saw for ourselves. So great coverage here, but what do you expect when you're rushing 3? I don't expect this is going to be us. He's got all day. We're going to have to get pressure on Bryce Young if we want to prevent plays just like that. Pressure's going to be key. We can't afford to let him sit back there because he can run too. And the last thing I want is for that to happen because we have been terrible with running quarterbacks. So how do you stop this? You play good sound ball. You close those gaps. Make sure your linebackers know where to go and they're reading. And then you make sure that you're providing pressure. And you're going to have to give pressure. Okay? So again, you see this. He's got all day to throw. He could probably throw to 19 backside as well. There's really only one guy covering back there. Oh no, he had a deep safety. But still, too easy when you've got that much time and so very little pressure. One of the things that Ole Miss did really well was they hit these quick slants quite a bit. I think we have that in our repertoire. I think we can do that. We'll see whether or not that's going to be a capability and whenever we're going to be able to do it with the reads that Calzada is going to get. Right here, that's a decent read. You saw we had somebody, or Ole Miss did in that case, up the sideline. And so Calzada's not been great with finding, the best open receiver. He can maybe find one, but there's not a whole lot of check down going on. And so this was a fine play for Ole Miss, and it would have been for us too. But hitting the guy down the sideline would have been huge. Alabama's running a bit of a 3-down front here, which is interesting, although it's 4 guys up on the line of scrimmage. And you can see they play line of scrimmage ball even from the defensive line all the way through the linebackers. They're there most of the time. And so you're always playing behind the 8 ball with them. And that's the way they do it. They're always pressing you or they're running with you on defense. They're never coming back at you or breaking on you. And you see this a lot from what we do. Just a great hole here again with their offense. They're just very physical. Watch them do a very similar thing here. You've got, just a simple hole that's going on. Ole Miss is not really able to make contact till at least a yard or so past the line of scrimmage. The running back does the rest, makes a move, plays physical. He gets 7. That's what they do. Watch this one. What do you see that's special going on? And I mean from Bama's offensive line standpoint. They're just moving guys off the line. They've got big dudes, and that's basically all they're doing is they're moving you off the line. So if you play downhill and you attack them as close as you can to the line of scrimmage, especially at the run game level, you can be effective. You can hold them to 2-3 yards, but you've got to make contact to be ready to play at the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you're going to get punished. Again, he's just got all day. He's got all day. Our cornerbacks and secondaries have shown to not be as strong as we need in these kinds of situations. I mean, fine move by Bryce. Good coverage by Ole Miss. They do what they can do and miss a tackle. Give them credit, but Bama's also capable of making plays themselves, even though they do so many things that are simple so well. When they have to make a play, they do. They've got plenty of talent. They've got plenty of athleticism. This is just going to be a hard-nosed play. They're going to hit you and hit you and hit you. And it's easy for them a lot of times because they do so many of the simple things so well that when it comes time to be real physical like that, it's, 1 every 10 plays, and they're ready to go do that. You see the quick slant again from Ole Miss. They had some success in this area, as you've seen a couple times now. So hopefully this is something that we're going to study and be able to implement as best we can. Watch the break, the move and the inside. 20 may be a matchup that we can exploit. We've seen a couple things on him. He's a really good player, and he really knows where to be when he and has to be there. He may not be the most athletic guy. So that may be something that we can, again, exploit and take advantage of. But you're going to see him still make a number of plays, the same thing along with number 10. Okay, right here, you kind of see the similar or the same play that's taking place again. And you're thinking, well, okay, so he's going to cut back. 10 does a great job of making sure that he gets up on 78 and gets inside of that so he can make a play. Okay, and here, this is a great example of how good their number 20 is. He gets around this block, and he does a really good job of reading where this play is going. They get good penetration, so he has to throw that ball up, and it delays the pass long enough for 20 to get there, provide a little pressure, and then allow for the rest of the gang to come in and finish it off. Really good job by him. You see it's that fake there. He just keeps his distance from 78, gets up the field and gets around. Doesn't make the tackle, but again, enough is enough. Just getting slowing down the play is enough for them to be able to get somebody there to make a play. More pressure here. You can see the difference between Ole Miss operating with pressure versus Bama operating with no pressure. Makes a world of difference. Ole Miss has pretty obviously got some talent on the team. They're able to make a lot of Alabama guys miss, and here you see them getting 4 yards on that, even though it looked like it was stopped cold. That's a good testament to how good Ole Miss probably actually is, and with Alabama shutting them down like this, how good Alabama actually is. Simple move by Bryce Young to, evade the pressure and then finds a wide open guy. Doing again some very straightforward things, and then punishing you for it. If you don't play sound against these guys, it's going to be really difficult to beat them. Pocket was kind of collapsing, rushed him a little bit, and you see he throws a bit of an errant throw. This is kind of where I'm getting at with providing pressure. I think if we can provide some pressure, we can definitely help ourselves out in getting some of those more errant throws. Quick slant again. All right, so that's why I'm going to keep pushing that. I think that's an area that we can definitely have some success. This looks like a play for a chain, in my opinion. 78 didn't do a great job of getting over there to get into that block. I think Fothery would be in that position and can do that. He's really long, got good feet on him too since he was a basketball player. So something like that for a chain and letting him break would be a great play for us. So it's interesting to see how Ole Miss plays a lot of this stuff. I don't think we're going to have those 3 down linemen again. They're bringing 4 here, even though it's only 3 linemen. Alabama plays, sit down in the zone, finds an open guy, and because you're not right on him, you can't make the play. And that's what they do. That's what every team does, if you'll allow it. Alabama just does it better than any other. Just this physical run here, sidesteps the tackle. Gets a couple. He only needs 2 here, so he gets technically 1, depending on where you want to say that line's marched or marked. But they're gonna go for it. Nice play action. Something we talked about last week that we thought would be good for us is to get some of those play actions in. But Ole Miss bites on it, and of course they find the open guy in the end zone, and only needed a couple feet to find that, right? And that's all we need too. Calzada can do that, but we've got to get there. This was actually one of the few plays that Alabama got pressure on. You saw them, knock the ball out. They get the turnover here, and so now they've got a short field. Plenty of time. It's got all day. This is a good coverage. If you know where you're going to go and who you're supposed to be on, this is something that we can do very easily, very readily. So it's a way we can I say exploit, but it's just a way that we can play these guys so that they don't look as effective as they will. Sure, they called a penalty, I guess, on that one, but it looked like pretty decent coverage even without the penalty aspect. Again, you're down the goal line. They're going to get something sooner or later if you give them enough chances. So what do you think? Tell me in the comments what you think. Do you think we got a chance in this game? The line's 17.5. You going to take the over? You're going to take the under? I don't think we've beat these I say beat. I don't think we played this team within 20 points in the last 3 matchups. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't see a great reason to take the Ags to cover, much less to win. I so want to. I can see that it's possible. I just know that we need to play in a certain way and execute. But our players just haven't quite done that yet. They're not quite ready to do that. There's just a little bit, probably too much going on for them to be able to say, execute 5 different things that are going on all at once. Because these plays are not necessarily simple. I mean, you can get on a guy, but there's other things going on. So we shouldn't make this sound like it's that easy. This is a difficult thing for these guys to do. So, but that also helps to underscore how great Alabama is when it comes to these kinds of games, because they do those things so well. And they're set up in large part to do that because they don't have as much young talent playing. And we do. And so we are probably inevitably going to make mistakes during this game. Alabama is the best team at punishing mistakes. And if they get up 14 points in the first quarter and we don't have a score, it's going to be really difficult for us to come back. It's going to be really difficult for us to hold it to within 17 points at that juncture. So right now, in my heart, I feel like we can win. In fact, I know we can win. We just watched all this. We didn't see anything that was amazing, except for the fact that Alabama does the everyday average things to such a high standard that it is amazing. This is what Jimbo is trying to achieve with our program. He keeps preaching it. And we see why when we watch what Alabama does. They do these simple things the best. They just play physical. They play in your face. And they go where they're supposed to go. They're aware of where they're supposed to go, so it's easier for them to get there. We can do that. It's hard to do that when you're a freshman or a sophomore and not a junior or a senior. It's more difficult. It's possible, but not likely. So I'm going to take Alabama in this game. I feel like a 2%er whenever I call that, right? Because, I should be all in on my team, and I am. We all are. You are. Of course you are. But if I'm giving you this in truth, and I'm giving you this from my head, and not from my heart, then I'm going to say to you that I think Alabama's going to win. I think they're going to win by about 24, about the same as they did last year. I can see the possibility that we keep this close and that it is a game with in the fourth quarter, or at least that we're within 10 points. But it's going to take a certain way of playing. And you saw what that certain way of playing looked like. It's going to be mainly on defense. If we can cover who we're supposed to cover, bring the pressure where we're supposed to bring the pressure, we can limit them. We get a few breaks here on offense. We play one of our best games ever so far, which we have been progressing, so it's fully possible we could be there in the fourth quarter. But it's a big but. It really is. And we can do it. We just are going to have to realize who we're playing against. If we keep thinking we're playing against Alabama, then we're beaten. This team, more than anything, is playing against themselves. Once they realize that, and once they realize they're playing against their potential, they'll know what they actually are up against. When you know you're up against your potential, you'll start playing a way that exceeds that. Because once you meet your potential, the only way to beat your potential is to meet your potential. And if we meet our potential, we can beat this team. But we have to play against ourselves, which means executing, which means knowing our assignments, and it means not making mistakes that we know we don't have to make. Don't self-inflict wounds. Don't give the championship to Serena Williams or Roger Federer. Don't do that. Don't hit the ball into the net. There's nothing they would like more than for you to defeat yourself. And Bama's done it to us a number of times. They let us defeat ourselves. We throw interceptions, we throw pick sixes, and it becomes too much for us to overcome. We have to get out of our game. We want to run, we want to control the clock, and we start trying to throw. Right now, throwing is definitely not our game. So if we want to beat them, if we want to have a chance, if we even want to keep this close and cover the spread, we got to play straightforward football. Not do too much, not try and force too many things, and just play sound football. We can do it. We can surely do it. But knowing what you can do and actually doing it are two different things. I'm really excited to see whether or not this team is ready to go out and do the things that they can do. When they do, this is going to be a team that can be reckoned with, even with these new guys in here, freshmen and all. It's a good team. It's a good team. They're just waiting for things to start clicking, and when they start clicking, things are going to start happening. I hope it's this game. I really do. But if not, this is going to be a game that we're going to grow. And it'll get us to the next level, whether we see it or not. So stay the course. Stay the course and know what we're up against and know what we're facing. Right now, we've got Alabama to win, but I'm hopeful. Let's see what happens, and let's see what we do. Diego.